Have you ever eaten something sweet and wondered why you crave it so much? The answer changes how you'll look at every sugary food you eat, because the craving you're feeling didn't begin with chocolate. It began hundreds of thousands of years before humans even invented farming. Imagine you're walking across the African savanna around 100,000 years ago. You've been searching for food since sunrise. Your last real meal was yesterday. Every step burns precious energy, and there is no guarantee you'll find another meal before nightfall. Then, in the distance, you notice a tree covered in ripe fruit. Without hesitation, you walk toward it. The fruit is soft, sweet, and packed with calories. Within minutes, your body has the energy it desperately needed. More importantly, your brain remembers exactly where you found it: the shape of the tree, the smell of the fruit, even the path you took to get there. That memory could save your life. For almost all of human history, sweetness wasn't a dessert. It was a survival signal. Long before candy bars, soft drinks, or chocolate existed, sweet foods were relatively rare. Most of the sugar our ancestors consumed came from ripe fruit, and occasionally, honey. Finding either required time, effort, and sometimes considerable risk. Honey wasn't sitting on a grocery shelf. It was guarded by thousands of bees. Yet humans sought it anyway because the reward was enormous. Sugar provided glucose, the body's quickest source of usable energy, helping fuel the brain and muscles when food was unpredictable. Over thousands of generations, natural selection likely favored people whose brains strongly motivated them to seek out these rare, energy-rich foods whenever they became available. Eventually, that motivation became deeply embedded in our biology. Your brain evolved to treat sweetness as something valuable. Not because humans lacked self-control, because survival often depended on it. But here's the strange part. If sugar helped our ancestors survive, why does it feel so difficult to resist today? The answer lies inside one of the oldest learning systems in your brain. When sugar reaches your tongue, specialized taste receptors recognize it almost instantly. Signals travel to several brain regions involved in learning, motivation, and reward. One of the key chemicals involved is dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure chemical, but neuroscientists now know that's an oversimplification. Its primary role isn't creating pleasure, it's helping your brain learn what is worth pursuing again. In the 1990s, neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz discovered something unexpected while studying reward learning. As animals learned to predict a reward, dopamine neurons began firing before the reward arrived rather than after it. In other words, the brain became excited by the expectation itself. That finding changed how scientists think about motivation. Imagine one of your ancestors discovering a tree full of ripe figs. The brain doesn't simply enjoy eating, it creates a map: where the tree was, what season it appeared, how it smelled, how to find it again. The next time that person walks nearby, their brain recognizes familiar cues before they consciously decide where to go. That's why simply smelling fresh cookies or walking past a bakery can suddenly make you crave something sweet, even if you weren't hungry a minute earlier. Your brain recognized a pattern it has spent hundreds of thousands of years learning. And for nearly all of human history, that system worked remarkably well. Sweet foods were uncommon. Remembering them increased your chances of survival. But evolution never prepared us for the world we live in now. Walk into almost any supermarket. Within a few minutes, you can find hundreds of products containing added sugar. Many of them deliver more rapidly available sugar in a single serving than our ancestors would typically have encountered from most natural foods at one time. Scientists studying nutrition use the term hyperpalatable foods for foods engineered with combinations of sugar, fat, salt, and refined carbohydrates that make them especially easy to keep eating. A 2019 study published in Cell Metabolism estimated that well over half of foods commonly consumed in the United States meet the criteria for being hyperpalatable. These foods aren't harmful simply because they taste good. They're unusual because they combine ingredients in ways that are extremely rare in nature. Think about eating an apple. You chew. The fiber slows digestion. Your stomach gradually fills. Now compare that to drinking a sugary soda. The sugar reaches your digestive system quickly, but there's almost no chewing and virtually no fiber to slow absorption. Before your body has fully registered what happened, you've already finished the drink. Your brain learns something important. That was an easy source of energy. Remember it. Repeat it. Every time that pattern repeats, the association becomes a little stronger. Not because your brain wants you to become unhealthy, Because from an evolutionary perspective, finding abundant calories with very little effort would have been an extraordinary survival advantage. The problem isn't your brain. The problem is the speed at which your environment changed. For hundreds of thousands of years, food scarcity was normal. Then, within only a few centuries, a tiny moment in evolutionary time, industrial food production transformed the human diet. Evolution works across thousands of generations. The modern supermarket appeared almost overnight. Your environment changed. Your biology didn't. And that explains something many people misunderstand. When you crave sugar, your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's following instructions that helped your ancestors survive. The next time you find yourself reaching for something sweet, ask yourself one question. Who's making that decision? The person living in the 21st century? Or a survival system that still behaves as though the next meal isn't guaranteed? Understanding where cravings come from doesn't instantly make them disappear, but it changes how you see them. They're not evidence that you're weak. They're evidence that your brain is doing exactly what evolution shaped it to do. The strange part is that one of humanity's greatest survival advantages has become one of our greatest challenges. A brain built for scarcity now lives in a world of abundance, and it's still trying to solve yesterday's problems. The next time you crave something sweet, remember, that craving didn't begin with you. It began hundreds of thousands of years ago, when finding something sweet could mean the difference between surviving another week or not surviving at all. The brain always has a reason. You just have to decode it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.